In a future where the hum of engines gives way to the subtle whispers of electric motors, one technology is set to revolutionize urban life as we know it. The rise of robotaxis heralds the end of an era, transforming the chaotic ballet of human-driven vehicles into a seamless, choreographed dance of artificial intelligence. As cities prepare to rewrite their very infrastructure, the steering wheel becomes a relic of the past, and the right to drive fades into an echo of nostalgia. We find ourselves on the brink of a new societal paradigm, where autonomy dictates motion and algorithms choreograph traffic in precisely mapped patterns. What lies before us is not just a shift in transportation, but a fundamental rethinking of freedom, control, and the fabric of civil interaction. The dream of seamless travel is closer than we ever imagined, as fleets of driverless cars navigate the streets, weaving through existence with elegant synchronicity. But with this promise of convenience comes an intricate web of ethical dilemmas, regulatory puzzles, and a cultural reckoning. Will we embrace a future where our connection to driving is a faded memory? Or will we stand together to reclaim our agency in a world increasingly governed by machines? The journey begins now, as we delve into the rise of robotaxis and the sweeping changes that will inevitably follow. This is Next Aeon, Chapter 1, The Shift. The dawn of the robotaxi era is upon us, a monumental shift in transportation ignited by groundbreaking advancements in autonomous vehicle technology. By 2026, Tesla's ambitious vision ushers in a new age, marked by the deployment of its first fleet of unsupervised robotaxis across major urban landscapes. This pivotal moment is not merely technological. It signals a profound transformation in our everyday lives as we wave goodbye to manual control and embrace the unknown. In just over a decade, the expectation is that fleets of algorithmically managed vehicles will proliferate, reshaping our cities and our interactions within them. In Austin, Texas, the initial phase begins, featuring robotaxis gliding silently along streets that used to be dominated by horns and human errors. The concrete jungle, once a cacophony of chaos, becomes a model for algorithmic choreography, leading us to reconsider our relationship with transportation and mobility. With each robotaxi that hits the roads, the concept of driving is flipped on its head, where once we placed faith in human judgment, we now rely on precise algorithms designed to optimize flow, reduce accidents, and enhance safety. As Tesla aims to deploy thousands of these fleets by the end of the decade, other players in the autonomous vehicle sector follow suit. The effectiveness of this technology hinges on a blend of ingenuity and safety validation. Morgan Stanley's projections reveal that while the deployment may begin on a small scale with 1,000 vehicles, the longevity of its success relies on public acceptance and regulatory adaptations. Multifaceted challenges loom as cities grapple with the implications of a vehicle-less landscape. Local regulations evolve slowly, necessitating a careful balance between innovation and public safety. This incremental approach leads to the reimagining of lanes, traffic signs, and even the presence of police monitoring. With robotaxis, lanes shrink, traffic regulations simplify, and the tempest of urban travel finds discipline in the predictable patterns of machine learning. The social narrative begins changing dramatically. What was once cavalier independence in driving morphs into a collective power, harnessed within the networks of robotic fleets. The once cherished right to drive becomes overshadowed by a broader understanding of optimized transport. Urban planners envision cities redesigned to accommodate the future, where parking lots give way to verdant parks and communal spaces, established to enhance quality of life in tandem with mobility advancements. Yet, emerging from this transformation is a complex emotional tapestry, the fear of losing agency in a world seemingly governed by machines. The societal landscape brims with tension. Humans must confront the loss of their roles as drivers, caregivers, and adventurers behind the wheel. With every milestone reached, questions about responsibility, choice, and the essence of freedom become more pressing. The era of driving has reached a crossroad, setting the stage for an evolution that echoes through society, tethering our fates to the promise and uncertainty of the robotaxi revolution. Chapter 2, The New Reality. As robotaxis emerge as the primary mode of transportation in cities, a societal reconstruction unfolds. Driving becomes a rarity, a cultural artifact slowly fading into oblivion, like the gasoline engine in the shadow of electric innovation. The sound of rotor blades is replaced by the quiet hum of efficient electric motors, each unit seamlessly orchestrating its journey through complex urban matrices. In this brave new world, traditional infrastructure evolves to accommodate the robotaxi fleets. Traffic lanes diminish, parking structures morph into expansive public spaces as fleet operators utilize dynamic mapping algorithms to optimize travel routes. Insurance models shift from individuals to fleet operators, fundamentally altering the risk landscape and rethinking accidents liability. Freedom of mobility now flows through a shared, centralized system where algorithmic efficiency dictates the rules of engagement, with routes chosen based on real-time data analytics, traffic patterns, and passenger demand. Cities are no longer chaotic entities driven by human errors. They operate as choreographed entities, guided gently by a ballet of self-driving robotaxis. Societal roles change marginalized driving experts like driving instructors, police officers, and roadside assistance networks. Some thrive by adapting to new technologies, while others face obsolescence. As robotaxis build momentum, an unexpected divide emerges, revealing those with access to advanced technology and those left at the fringes of progress. In the legal realm, discussions percolate around the right to drive. As autonomous vehicle adoption accelerates, the foundation of traffic laws, established over decades, faces scrutiny. The public begins to question the necessity of driving tradition in metropolitan regions where robotaxis rule the roads. This questioning cultivates murmurs about reducing driver licenses, and in many urban centers, decommissioning human drivers altogether becomes viable. Education systems redefine childhood experiences, emphasizing adaptation to an autonomous landscape where driving lessons are swapped for understanding vehicle technology and emergency protocols. Children grow up surrounded by robotaxis, shifted into a space where controlling a vehicle becomes the responsibility of advanced AI. As a narrative of freedom shifts toward shared responsibility, humans think critically about the distinction between mobility and autonomy. Personal agency in travel becomes a shared experience, inherent to programming rather than individual choice. Urban landscapes flourish with reduced emissions, cleaner air, and serene roadways. Yet concerns bubble beneath the surface. As the promise of a technologically unified society unfolds, are we trading one form of liberation for another? Chapter 3: The Deep Impact. The implications of transitioning to a society dominated by robotaxis extend beyond the surface, reaching deep into the ethical, cultural, and existential realms of human identity. As we relinquish the wheel, our relationship with travel transforms, demanding reflection upon our values, freedoms, and responsibilities. At the forefront of this evolution lies the ethical dilemma of automation. As AI assumes control over vehicles, questions arise regarding accountability in the event of malfunctions or accidents. Who is responsible when an accident occurs? The fleet operators, the software designers, or the vehicle users? These questions muddy the waters of morality, compelling us to redefine responsibility in a world where machines dominate critical decision-making processes. Moreover, the commodification of mobility becomes apparent as robotaxi services open pathways to unprecedented economic disparities. With the convenience of self-driving technology accessible primarily through urban networks, remote areas become increasingly isolated. Those without the means to access these services face a gradual erosion of their mobility rights, creating a caste-like system segregated by technology access, a troubling extrapolation of a future that relies heavily on robotaxi networks. Cultural ramifications ripple through our societies, challenging ideals of independence and self-sufficiency. As humans continue to cede control to machines, shifts towards collectivism grow stronger. Conversations at dinner tables evolve from adventures behind the wheel to discussions around the impacts of AI on society and human relationships. Further out, the prospect of full-scale insanity grips sociological theorists. The collectivization of urban transport paves the way for the erosion of individualism. From this emerges a culture where autonomy, once synonymous with the act of driving, disappears into algorithms and data processing. What stories, what rituals will we pass on to future generations in a world devoid of personal travel freedom? Animated by efficiency, yet haunted by loss, human experiences develop an innate tension, oscillating between innovation and nostalgia. Behind every autonomous machine lies a human longing for connection, for the thrill of decision-making and the pleasure of exploration. Navigating our cities provokes reflections on who we are and what we sacrifice for the benefits of instant, easy access. The societal implications are compounded as cities adjust to accommodate massive fleets of robotaxis. Regulatory environments remain slow to catch up with innovations, navigating a precarious tightrope between public safety and corporate interest. Evolving laws and policies become battlegrounds where ethical considerations clash with profit motives, questioning how our imminent future aligns with shared values of equity and communal progress. As urban centers burgeon with autonomous machines, the evolution of civic duty becomes paramount. Citizen engagement prompts discussions on governance. Should autonomy bear the burden of human dignity? The frequency of communal decision-making styles rises in response to the encroaching AI presence, with debates surrounding human values and the importance of retaining agency over our mechanics. Robotaxis, symbolic of the transformative expanse of technology, reflect our evolving reality, inviting both apprehensions and possibilities for human society. Faced with an identity crisis rooted deeply within the automation, we must ask ourselves, what chances are we willing to take to ensure that our values retain agency, independence, and the spirit of human connection as we embark on this road less traveled? As we stand on the precipice of a new reality, we are left with profound reflections on our journey through the emergence of the robotaxi age. Once a cherished part of human life, driving evolves from necessity to nostalgia, reshaping our cultural landscape in ways we are only beginning to understand. The challenges presented by this transformation force us to reevaluate our relationships with technology, control, and community, paving the way for ethical considerations that demand our attention. We find ourselves grappling with the layers of autonomy tied to machine operations, pondering the balance between efficiency and human connection. The allure of algorithmic choreography in urban environments paints a vivid picture of convenience, yet it also signals a deeper introspection into what it means to be truly mobile, to be free. As the realities of robotaxi transportation develop, we must navigate through the interplay of accessibility and isolation, asking ourselves, how can we preserve our values as technology propels us into a landscape reimagined? Embracing the transitional whirlwind around us, we have the opportunity to redefine our shared future, as explorers of a world where human agency intertwines harmoniously with artificial intelligence. Together, we can glean insights from the past while facing the promise and uncertainty of the journey ahead. This is evolution. This is Next Eon. See you in the next dimension.